Not long ago, I did a Cobra One Length Iron review, and you guys screamed for a mid-handicap test. Well, here we are.
It's here.
Hi everyone, James Robinson here. If you're new to the channel and this is your first time watching my content, make sure you consider hitting that subscribe button. My goal is to bring you daily golf related content that helps you raise your game, lower that handicap, and just pretty much enjoy your golf a little bit more. In today's video, I've got Mark, my mid-handicap tester. I'm not actually that short, actually, am I?
You're not.
We'll stand up for the rest of it. And today we are testing Cobra One Length Irons, specifically the King Cobra F8 One Length Irons. Let's do it, and let's do it now. Oh wow, yeah. So Mark, initially, what do you think of the One Length Iron look and what do you think of the concept?
Well, the look is great. I've swung each of these clubs, so it is quite interesting swinging the wedge, the pitching wedge, just because it looks like a mid-iron length and feels like it. So it's interesting just getting that different sort of swing style or thought in your mind when you're actually trying to approach that sort of shot.
And for people who are watching who aren't conscious of the One Length Iron idea, all 7 iron lengths. Yeah. Lofts of 5 iron loft at 22.5, 7 iron loft 29.5, 9 iron loft 39 and pitching wedge 44. So quite strong. Very strong,
yeah, very strong. A lot of work to do with other wedges in your bag.
Absolutely,
that pitching wedge side of things. But if the consistencies comes through with your swing, you won't be needing wedges very often around the green, I suppose.
And today's test is primarily a launch monitor test. We're going to look at the numbers, we're going to look at launch angle, spin rates, distance. Really, today is to see how Mark feels with the clubs. Not necessarily if he could put them in the bag. I think to do that, we'd have to do some kind of on-course testing.
Absolutely.
So if you guys want to see that, smash those comments below and let us know if you want to see a mid-handicap tester on the golf course with One Length Irons. As for now, I think we've done enough talking, Mark, do you?
Yeah, let's hit them and see what happens.
Okay, so I'm going to give you a club, Mark. This will get in. Which one are you taking?
Take that one.
Which one do you think it is?
Well, I've no idea.
Exactly, because they're all the same length. Let's do it. Start with the wedge and we'll work our way up. So first thoughts looking down at the pitching wedge, Mark.
It feels odd because it's much more mid-iron length. But I know that it's only a wedge and I'm only looking to hit it a shorter distance, so it's a more sort of detailed, accurate kind of shot.
Yeah, and the ideology behind these clubs is very much stand the same for them all. Yeah. So don't try and stand like you would for a pitching wedge. That's one thing where if you watch my on-course review of these irons, I sort of couldn't really get my head around. You do have to stand as though you're standing for a 7 iron every single time.
The top line looks great on them.
They look fantastic, don't they?
They're very thin top edge.
Remember, these are the F8 irons. They're not the forged ones. They're not the players ones. Yeah. These are suited more towards a mid to high handicap.
High handicap.
So you won't get Bryson DeChambeau playing these.
No, but then I'm not Bryson DeChambeau. Absolutely not.
No. I don't think you suit the flat cap anyway.
No. All right.
What a strike that is.
Well, I went through that one.
Skinny. A long way to go. Just a couple of shots in, Mark, and how are you finding this pitching wedge? Are you finding any kind of difference in feeling than what you would normally use?
It's feeling much more solid through the ball, so it feels much more like a mid-iron sort of.
So again, it's a good swing, and to be honest, it's a good number.
Yeah.
But it's an inconsistent number.
It is.
Yeah?
Yeah, very much so.
Let's go one more then, we'll take a look at the numbers. So far, pretty good numbers, but pretty inconsistent numbers. We're going to hit one more shot with the pitching wedge, then we're going to take a look through the numbers, and then we'll do this for the 7 iron and the 5 iron as well. That's going to be a long one. Good. Okay, so that's 5 shots hit with the Cobra One Length pitching wedge for Mark, the mid-handicap tester. Let's take a look at those numbers. Okay, so looking quickly at Mark's numbers here, quite a fluctuation in numbers. That could be down to strike, obviously. Mark's not a machine, although you might think he's looking at some of the videos we've done. Average distance 136. Spin rate 7,306, so not bad, fairly on the low side for a pitching wedge. One thing that I'm really interested to see is the peak height, and that is up at 120.6 feet. There we go. Okay. See, that's one thing that's interesting. Passing you the club, you've really got to. I mean, I can't imagine once you're looking in the bag, with them all being the same length, you kind of take for granted you reach for a short club or a long club.
Yeah, that's right. That's it. And yeah, the 7 is in an odd place, right on the end of the club, so it's not easy to see it light.
7 iron, 5 again, please, Mark. Wow. So I can just see Mark sliding a set of these into his bag, maybe. Sounded good.
Same distance.
Great strike. So a low spin though, really low spin.
Yeah.
And obviously this is 7 iron at 7 iron length, so it's basically just 7 iron, isn't it?
Yes, but it's, as you said, it's 29.5 degrees, so it's very, very powerful.
Some sets that's a 6 iron or even nearly 5 iron, isn't it?
That's right.
Very consistent.
Yes, so it's interesting, isn't it, that it's a 7 iron, but it's the same length. Why do I appear to be more consistent with this one than I was with the wedge?
Yeah, because there's only a couple of yards in it, isn't there?
Yeah. Whereas very up and down with the wedge.
Now I don't know how you feel, Mark, but looks-wise, when I tried these clubs, they don't necessarily look like a high to mid-handicap club. I feel like they look pretty sleek and small.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, the top line, when you're looking down at it, is very, very slim. So it looks nice. It's only when you start picking them up and looking at them at the base that it looks thicker and more chunky. But you don't see that at all when you're playing.
Absolutely, yeah.
Drag that one.
Dragged it left. It's a long way left. Distance is similar though. Even that wasn't your best, was it?
No, that was quite heavy, but still went a good distance.
So that's 5 shots hit with the 7 iron. We're going to have to take a look at those numbers. That went a long way. So looking now at Mark's numbers for the 1 length 7 iron, look at those for numbers. There's a couple of mid-handicappers I know that have paid big money for those. One thing that is a little bit worrying, we go over to these spin numbers here. Look at that for an average spin. That is frighteningly low. And to be fair, I think looking at the carry distances as well, Mark's strike did vary towards the end, and you can see laterally he's missed some of them quite a long way left. So again, dispersion is going to be a bit of an issue for me. Say if I was fitting Mark there, definitely. All in all, it's going to be interesting to see how far this is going to have to be a 210 yard, 215 yard 5 iron to obviously leave a gap for the 6 iron. So Mark, 5 iron.
Yeah, 5 iron. Now interestingly, looking down at this one, you can actually see, I can see the foot of the club, the head on this, and the head, the top line looks slightly thicker, certainly than the 9 iron did.
Yeah.
So it does look a bigger face.
Yeah, it looks bigger, different prospect.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
And this is where, for me, most people are going to see the benefits in 1 length irons. I personally don't see how a mid-high handicapper is going to see a huge benefit from a longer pitching wedge, a longer 9 iron, but a 5 iron at 7 iron length makes a lot of sense to me. I think definitely at 22.5 degrees loft, I think you could send some bullets out there with this. One thing I might worry a little bit about is that peak height. Can we get it to land soft on a green, or is it going to be a low chaser for everyone? So Mark, 5 shots. Let's see how it feels, but also how it performs. Well, you've not one better than that.
Wow. Nicely down the line, hasn't it?
Wow. That's an awesome strike. Interesting though, it's not rising, is it, that?
No. Low spin.
Low spin, 7 iron went a similar distance.
Yeah.
Now a lot of this can be down to strike, but who strikes the golf shots properly every time? You tell me someone who does.
I mean, I suppose logic for me anyway says that because these are 1 length shafts, the consistency of strike should be much more.
And how do you feel How do you feel addressing the ball? Do you feel strange, or have you managed to set your mind on, I'm just going to stand where I stand?
Well, I think I have to say a part of me is saying that addressing the ball, I'm at the same point that I would be for all of them. But because I know this is a 5-iron, not a pitching wedge, I'm perhaps trying to play a bit stronger through the ball.
Yeah, okay.
Than I was with the wedge.
For the sake of argument, for these last 2 shots, just pretend it's the 7-iron. Yeah?
Yeah, okay.
To me, that's almost as good as you've got, Mark. What do you think?
Yeah, that was good.
Just shy of 200. It's a lovely shot of inside your ear as well. Just shy of 200.
Yes, you've got an inner ear complex occurring now, haven't you?
Oh wow, yeah. So, just before we take a look at these numbers, Mark, 7-iron consistency, some of the best numbers I've seen by far.
Yeah.
Pitching wedge and 5-iron consistency, fluctuation massive.
Fluctuations within those, yeah, absolutely. Right word? Yeah.
Is that the right word?
Fluctuation.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Just deviated, look at me using these big words now, deviated, fluctuate, I don't know. Anyway, I expected that to go better. I'm not. I don't get paid by Cobra. I don't get paid by anyone to say anything. I say exactly what I'm thinking. I expected the 5-iron to go better, and I didn't expect I expected the 7-iron to be Mark's standard 7-iron. The 7-iron stood out massively. Before we take a look at the numbers, Mark, for this 5-iron, just explain to people how it felt. Was it a pleasing experience? Was it strange? Was it? You lead it away.
Yeah, it was nice to play. I did feel as though it was more controllable, if you like.
Yeah.
Just because of the length of the shaft, I think that was it.
Yeah.
It didn't feel a bit too far away from me. It was very much I know that I can hit this club.
Yeah.
Having said that, though, the spin rates seem to have varied dramatically.
Yeah.
The distance, it was a long way, but it was also a lot of variance in there. So I wouldn't be confident of playing it at the moment, certainly. One
thing that I got when I did this test, and I haven't done it on a launch monitor yet, that's still to come, so if you want to see that, make sure you hit that subscribe button. I'll plug them out, they'll hate that.
Yeah.
When I teed off on the 10th hole at Huddersfield with the 5-iron, I was amazed at, it went low, but I was amazed at the distance I got with it. I think I hit a pitching wedge in from there, which, it's a par 4, it's not a short par 4 up the hill either. No,
exactly.
Anyway, we're digressing. That's another word, isn't it? Digress. Let's take a look at these numbers for the Cobra One Length 5-iron for a mid-handicap tester. So looking at these numbers now for the Cobra One Length 5-iron, some of them not even as far as the 7-iron. Now, again, that can be down to strike. Mark's a mid-handicap tester. That's exactly why we do these tests. Spin rates, questionable. They're very, very low. Some of those spin rates I'd expect to see on a driver. I think some of those spin rates are actually what Mark does get for his driver. So spin rates averaging just over 3,000. Distance, 192 average total. 186 carry, so a little bit of roll there as well, which you'd expect for this kind of club. 192 is not bad, but with the average that we got for the 7-iron, I'd have to be begging the question how far the 6-iron would go, and I mean, what's the gapping like? That's something which I'd be worried about slightly. Peak height averaging at just 78.6 feet. That's really going to struggle into some greens, especially if we're in a rock hard summer. So Mark, Cobra One Length mid-handicap testing irons. What do you think?
Thank you. Well, interesting concept. Don't know that it's right for me at all, but I can absolutely see that some people will really appreciate the fact that they're all the same length. The swing is much more consistent and more playable out there. So maybe one or two of the higher handicappers would certainly find this helpful. And indeed, the consistency might come with a bit more practice with them.
Absolutely, and I think my dad uses one length irons, and he took to his workshop and he cut down the short irons because he wasn't happy with the longer short irons, which I think I ridiculed him massively at the time, and I mentioned this in the video where I took these on the golf course, but looking at it, I can sort of see why he would do that. I think I massively see the value in shorter long irons for mid-handicap players, and in fairness, I think for better players, we might see more people appreciate the one length system because they can slide into that structure of I'm going to stand like this for every single shot.
Yeah.
I think for the higher handicap, the mid handicap, these clubs are fantastic. They're very strong often and they're designed to go a long way, and we've found that. So if you're looking for a set of irons that go a long way, you're looking for something where you can improve your long irons, these do that.
Yeah.
So what I would say is, if you are in the market for a new set of irons and you are a mid handicap, these have to be go and try them, don't they?
I would take a look at them.
I wouldn't discount them. If you are against the one length system or you're against the idea of it, go and give it a go, because one thing's for sure, I really enjoyed myself when I took these out on the golf course, and I'm actually looking forward to doing a bit of testing in here for you guys with my game, and I'm getting hold of the more players version in the new year, which is why I'm holding back from this a little bit. But I'm sure, and I'm not going to speak for you, Mark, how have you found the experience of hitting them?
The experience of hitting them, it was good. It was good. I mean, I would certainly like to take them onto a course and try and hit a few shots with them. That would be telling, I think, much more than hitting it off the mat in here.
Yeah.
Because you've got the height and the drops when you're actually out there on the course. So it would be good to do that. But yeah.
I think
interesting.
I think we've covered all the bases.
I think I'm struggling at the moment to get the concept into my bag.
Yeah. So if you want to see how Mark gets on with these out on the golf course, make sure you hit that subscribe button, guys. Make sure you follow Mark on Twitter. He's at GolfSprigsy. Getting a lot of love on there, Mark.
Yeah, absolutely. So, lots of comments.
Also, you can, if you want to, follow me on Twitter. That's just up there. Make sure you go and check out my Instagram as well. That's over there. And apart from that, guys, see you soon.
Yeah. See ya.